Okay, well, mics are on and the stream is up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be day 2 of the LoLPro.com Dominion Showdown, and we're going to be bringing you the round of 8 game in just a moment. I just need to get in the game lobby. It's being set up, and then we will bring that your way. Just a reminder, first place wins $250 divided amongst the 3 of them, says $50 a person. Second place, $150, and third place, $104th place, doesn't actually get anything. So it's the fight for third and fourth will be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, pretty excited for this day. I don't normally cast Dominion, but it'll be a lot of fun. I've heard quite a few good things about, just the action-packedness of Dominion. That's not a word, but that's just, something that brings about the excitement.
Okay, and you guys may remember me from yesterday. I am Gandair of the That's Loud! This is why dang it! Rip in peace, headphone users. Sorry, I had some hardware issues the second I got up, and I've been frantically trying to adjust them, and everything I thought was good, but my Flash player is misbehaving. Alright, sorry about cutting you off there. You may remember me from yesterday. I am Gandair of the gaming clan Vato Clan, and casting with me today is going to be
AzarakiDragon.
Welcome to the show. It's Azaraki, yes? That's correct.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? Excellent. I always want to make sure that I get the players and co-commentators, broadcasters, producers' names right. Sometimes I feel like they should come with a little bit of a phonetic display, like you right-click on it, it says it's pronounced this way.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty useful. I've met a couple of people who have harder names to pronounce than mine. Although I actually have had some people call me Azakari or something. I guess just small screen, can't really see the letters or something. But hey,
Well, you know how it is if you're on like a CRT or something like that. Your resolution's set low because of who knows what graphical error. A lot of reasons you could have that go on. This game is going to be the round of 8 game. This is going to be Clueless versus Enema.
let me go ahead and actually let people know what my summoner name is so that I can go ahead and get in this game.
Yeah, I'm typing it in now. Okay. Should get you an invite in just a moment. I have posted it to the room. They should throw you an invite momentarily. And for those of you out there watching, I want to say a big thank you to our sponsor, LoLPro.com. And you guys should really check out their website, because if you like Dominion, if you like the games that we had yesterday, and you want to see more from Dominion community and anything Dominion related, go to LoLPro.com, and I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what to look for while you're there. LoLPro.com is a great website, and recently in their Pro Guides section, go to the main page, click on Pro Guides, and it will take you over to a page that has a lot of guides written by top-level Dominion players, people that are competing at a high level in this tournament. You can find them over there.
Yes, I normally do a lot of Summoners Rift things, so I'm not really too familiar with the meta for Crystal Scar, so LoLPro seems like a pretty nice site for me to go ahead and learn about some of the things that are basically in the big meta for Dominion, which champions that are really high priority picks, high priority bans. I know I've heard a lot about things, and I've played a little bit myself, but I'm not too experienced. But I know that high mobility champions are always great for ganking around and making sure that you have map pressure around the entire map to capture multiple points. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to it.
There we go. You can see it on the screen there. We have guides for plenty of champions up at the moment, and they're going to have more in the future as well. So I highly encourage you guys to go over and check that out when you get a chance. LoLPro.com, click on Pro Guides, and take a look at what they have for you. It looks like both the teams now are in the lobby, have everything ready, and want to get on with this round of 8 game.
And there we go. We are in the first game of the day. Pretty cool.
No?
So some of the run down some of the bans you expect to see, some of the high priority bans.
When the game kicked over the lobby screen, or the champ select screen, it actually kicked me out of the game.
Oh, wow.
So I'm actually staring at my client right now.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and keep you guys posted a little bit. The bans so far, going
button.
fairly quickly. Lulu, Kale, Wukong, Kassadin, Nidalee, and Kha'Zix. Now, I see, like I said before, a lot of mobility actually being banned out. Kassadin recently actually suffered a nerf in Dominion, so I think his Rift Walk is on a longer cooldown now. And the picks are also going pretty quickly. We have Zyra, Maokai, and Brand. And you were telling me yesterday when we were having a conversation about how Maokai is a popular pick just for the amount of sustain he has. You can stay in the bot lane for such a long time because his passive gives him an extra boost of HP as soon as he hits something, and that recharges with the amount of spellcasts you do. So being a champion that throws out saplings every now and again and all that stuff, it's pretty easy to get your passive back up over and over and over again. And I'm also seeing a Vayne pick, which Vayne is pretty much good anywhere in my opinion. You know, she's such a strong champion, extremely high damage. She can outduel so many different people, certainly outduel all the other AD carries. And on top of that, she's got pretty high mobility. On top of that, she can go ahead, use her ultimate. That allows her to get stealth once she uses Tumble afterwards, helps her positioning, helps her dodge spells, and helps her stay alive and duel even longer. So Vayne is always a good pick, even in Summoner's Rift and Dominion. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find out what to do about me not being in the lobby at the moment. Because I'm not able to get in. I mean, I can drop in spec when the option comes up, but until then, I'm kind of hanging here, so that won't be until after champs. Like, if you want to go ahead and keep talking about the picks and bans as they happen, while I try to resolve this, that way the viewers know what's going on.
Actually shared screens with you in Skype, so you should be able to see a little bit right there. I don't know if you can put it on screen, but you should at least be able to see some of these picks and explain some of them.
Hey!
Because we have
yes,
Sivir.
sir, I can.
Which Sivir's not used in Summoner's Rift because of her lackluster laning, her lackluster a lot of things, but she has quite a bit of pushing power, and she can also give her team a massive speed boost with attack speed and movement speed. So is Sivir a more popular pick in Dominion?
Sivir is a character that we actually very rarely see. I'm going to see if I can capture a region of the screen really quickly so I can get that out to you guys. There we go. That'll give you guys something. Sorry about that. Okay. But Sivir's a champion that we actually don't see in Dominion at all, really. Sivir, the only times I've seen her in competitive play were very, very early on in Dominion's competitive history, and that's when the game was still new. Since then, Sivir's lack of escape has been one of the reasons that you don't typically use her. BB Pop, however, is a player that uses champions which don't have those escapes, opting to take Flash on them instead of the typical exhaust or garrison that you see on AD carries, which means he actually has that escape mechanic. Sometimes he'll pick up a QSS in addition to that. So we've started seeing characters like Caitlyn, Quinn, other ones that aren't Ezreal, basically, is what I'm getting at. Now, Sivir in particular, Sivir has Spell Shield, which is amazing. Those type of spells are great because of the skirmish style engagement of this map. And beyond that, Sivir's Boomerang Blade, it's one of those spells, much like Ari's Orb of Deception, where it lingers. It's sort of active on the field of play for a little while, because it has to be thrown out, has to go to its maximum range, it has to come back. So you have that extra second or so of delay that you can force on a tower. Plus the fact they can hit multiple targets, it would make it really good for an interrupt. Its range is quite nice as well. Sivir's Chase is pretty good, I would say, because of all of the movement speed that she gets.
Oh yeah, and I'm also seeing a lot of zone coming from their team as well. We have Maokai, whose ultimate can easily zone people. Fighting in that ultimate is something where everyone you fight against is going to take a lot less damage. I think it's a 12% damage reduction, but I'm not sure on the exact number, but for whoever on his team that's standing in it. And on top of that, they have champions like Brand, who's Pillar of Flame. You want to escape that as fast as you can. You don't want to be standing in it because it is a pretty huge nuke. And like you said before, Sivir's Boomerang Blade lingers for a while. You're going to have to dodge that. And on top of that, we also have Fizz, who can indeed throw out his ultimate, and he can either use that for an initiation, or I wouldn't use it for zone, but it can still zone really well. And even if you do use it as an initiation, it is sort of zoning at the same time, because you don't want to be caught next to someone who's going to get knocked up by that whale or shark, depending on which skin he runs. So that's something that really helps their team out as well if they want to try to keep people off of their tower, keep people, or if they're assaulting a tower, and keep people from counter-initiating on them.
That is absolutely correct. There's a lot of positioning that is going to be forced by Clueless's team. Half-Hearted, by the way, also authored a guide on brand that you will be able to see on LoLPro.com. Over on Cheese Enema's team, or rather, they're entered in this tournament as Cheese Enematic, but historically they've been known as Cheese Enema. It's Sifu Calvin, Lurch, Krog, and Chavez Obama. And is that Brown Bruiser on Vayne? I can't see the name in this window.
Yeah,
okay.
Brown Bruiser. And
I don't see a particular lot of mobility from them. Jarvan has a dash. Gragas has a short dash. Vayne has a little bit of movement with Tumble. But for the most part, I don't know. They don't have any real way to suddenly get out of the range or the area of something. Great examples are what you said, Pillar of Flame and Chum the Waters. The angle at which they have to like attack or engage is going to be very particular to avoid taking all of that AoE damage, because they're not having champions that really have emergency escapes. Little dashes, yes, that might help them a lot, but I don't know if they're going to want to put those on cooldown as often as they may need.
Especially when they're against Sivir, who can speed boost her entire team, so it not only helps her own chase, but the rest of her team's chase. And if someone like Maokai were to get that speed boost, he can Twisted Advance to cover even more distance and catch someone out then as well. So the lack of escapes, as you said, pretty prevalent on the team of Cheese.
When it cuts the loading screen, I'm going to try to drop inspect there and see if I can get back into this properly. Let's see. Okay.
Alright, I'm going to also stop screen sharing, because
Yeah.
I think that's probably going to end up giving me a huge FPS lag.
Yeah, that's fine. Not that button. Come on, not that button. Sorry, I was having a little bit of a technical thing this morning, and it looks like it's persisting. It's affecting my mouse. Something's wrong with the mouse precision. The pointer is skipping frames, and I just don't see it sometimes when it slows down.
Mm-hmm. And so getting into the loading screen right here, like you said, the summoner spells are mostly Exhaust and Garrison. We have a barrier on Vayne, and that's a popular choice for her in Summoner's Rift, I know. Of course, everyone is running the Revive, and that's really, really popular on Dominion, because it just gives you so much extra control. If you die, you can just get right back into the fight, and that's what a lot of people tend to do on Dominion. So outside of that, 1 CV per team on the supports, that's pretty, I expect that as well, to make sure that you see everything that's happening. And in the middle of the map, you have no sight, and there are no wards there either, or you can't ward it up. So CV is a really good summoner spell for making sure that you don't get jumped. And if suddenly a couple of people disappear from the top, or maybe someone disappears from the bottom, although that doesn't generally happen, you can see where they're going if you land a great CV.
Excellent. And I am at the loading screen now. This would be the round of 8 game for the LoLPro Dominion Showdown. This is going to be Cheese Enema versus Clueless. Cheese Enema's team consisting of Sifu Calvin playing as Jarvan IV, Lurch playing as Gragas, Krog playing as Alistar, Brown Bruiser playing as Vayne, Chavez Obama playing as Zyra. I am one half of your commentators for today. I am Gandair, and co-commentating with me is
Azaraki.
And who do we have on the other team?
We have Commander Peoples on Maokai, Mad Supportal on Sona. Surprisingly not playing a Yordle over there, especially not a Supportal. Lulu was banned out, but Half-Hearted on Brand, Bebop on Sivir, and Wolferer on Fizz. So that's going to round out their lineup.
Okay, looking at the starting items being bought, nothing seems too out of the ordinary. Boots, Prospector's items. Mad Supportal going to take a moment, it looks like, to Could be a connection thing. Could just be waiting to buy in case they decide to go for a CV at the very beginning, which is something that we see occasionally. That's one thing that I wanted to note about this particular game, is that we see clairvoyance on either side of the map. There is one being used by Matt Sporl, and there's one also being used by Chavez Obama. And at the highest levels of Dominion gameplay, it's very common to see one of those spells per team, because that is it's infinite range. It really helps out here, as you saw, seeing who is coming up on the approach to the initial windmill fight can enable you to lead some skill shots for some free early damage, lets you know their marching order. Zifu taking a little bit of damage from Commander Peoples as we get into the poke over the first tower, but maybe Krog doesn't believe in poke, sticking his head out right away. BB-Pop flashes over the wall to escape. Sifu Calvin exhausted, taking a lot of damage as well. Supportal doing a very good job of hanging back, not taking that extra proc from Bane for the true Silver Bolts. And they are going to take the windmill. Clueless is going to get control of that point.
It was a great play up there in the top lane. But basically what happened, Krog thought he could try to zone someone out with his headbutt pulverize, or pulverize headbutt in that order in this case, and try to catch someone out, but a great flash sort of countered from BB-Pop, and he did take flash for the escape right there, so we see that that was actually used pretty well in that engagement up there. But to respond, they're going to go ahead and take the drill right here, and Commander Peoples is going to see if he can do anything about that. Sifu Calvin trying to kill Mad Supportal, but it looks like they'll just be forced off for the second. Krog doing a great job of keeping them away from the cappers, and it looks like they will be able to capture the drill, so they're going to be able to take that point back in their favor even though they lost the top.
And this is a move that you see occasionally in Dominion, where you cut into the middle point of the other team after having the fight at the windmill just go convincingly not in your favor. And when it works like this, it really throws off the enemy, because they have to devote someone who goes back to recapture that point. At the same time, though, they were using Brand to neutral the refinery while it was going on, and tied up the points at 2-2.
And it looks like they're going to try to respond with their own cut through, and they're going to go ahead and try to take this down. Mad Supportal is trying to poke out as much as she can, going to try to just poke them out, make sure that they don't get that cap, try to interrupt them there. But it looks like they might actually just back off of this. They don't want to go too far, but they've already recapped the drill, so that's going to work in their favor as well. So right now, both teams going to go ahead and head back a little bit. Sivir going with a Vampiric Scepter, so she's going to be able to stay in fights a little bit longer, and not only that, but it'll also help her defend the points after they take them. So the middle relic was actually taken right there by Half-Hearted, and that's going to give him quite a bit of power, because what happened there was the blue team wasn't able to respond to that since they were too busy dealing with their own action. But it looks like Chavez Obama is going to go ahead and try to take it, but that's going to force a fight. Mad Supportal using Crescendo, and there goes the Stranglethorns, and Supportal's getting caught in the ultimate from Jarvan, and Krog is going to go ahead and try to kill Craig's the Supportal right there, and Brown Bruiser is going to do as much as he can, but Krog getting caught out himself. Commander Peoples taken down extremely low. He doesn't have mana. There goes the Pulverize, but it's not enough to save him. Chavez Obama is trying to find an entry point, but he can't really do that. Brown Bruiser just barely dodging. Boomerang Blade right there, and it looks like Mad Supportal trying his best to finish off the kill on Brown Bruiser, but it's not going to work. They're still chasing just a little bit, and it looks like they will be able to get away from that.
Yeah, it was very narrow escape for Brown Bruiser, Chavez Obama, and Sifu Calvin having to do a lot of work to keep him alive. Zyra is a very, very powerful pick in this game mode, because she has a lot of AoE ability, and she has a lot of crowd control ability, snare, slow, and airborne in her kit, plus a lot of range as well. In the bottom lane, Lurch able to successfully get a neutral on the bottom tower from Wolferer, but it's a little bit low on health now as they move away. Lurch dashes up. Nope, not going to be able to escape. Unfortunately, Fizz is able to secure the kill and is going to be able to secure that bottom tower, it seems.
In the top lane, we also have an engagement here as Sifu Calvin is going to try to land as much as he can over here. He does not have his ultimate up, so that's going to hurt him, and he's actually going to be taken down by Sivir right there, and they're going to be able to force them off of this top the boneyard not the boneyard, the windmill, and it looks like they're going to find Chavez Obama and kill him while he tried to go back for the health relic, and Half-Hearted just barely making it out of there with any help whatsoever, and there goes the windmill. They're finally capturing it and bringing this back 3-2.
In the bottom lane, Wolfer is going to recall. If you guys paying attention to the spells that are being leveled up. Playful Trickster being leveled up first for Fizz. But if you're playing Fizz in the bottom lane, you need that wave clear from Playful Trickster, so it's very important that you level that up quickly. Maokai up near the top of the map. Maokai near a point is very difficult to unseat from it. So typically you want to draw him into engagement off of it so that you can't benefit from all of that tower damage from his team being able to take up in Maelstrom. Sivir, using her ultimate, using the On the Hunt, brings them straight across the map over to Alistar. They find Krowg. They put a lot of damage on him immediately. Shadows Obama tries to come up around the bottom of the fight, but is quickly chased away. It's circling around. Sivir is behind them. She's in a great position to be able to chase after Chavez Obama. Vayne picked off by Brand and Sona, and Zyra should be able to get away. There we are. There's a plant. Plant can slow, and it will be okay. But no, Wolfer coming up from the bottom lane almost puts Chavez in the ground, and Sivir is going to be able to secure that kill, thanks in part to the help of Fizz, putting that extra damage on him as he was running away.
Looks like Commander Peoples isn't quite done there. He's going to go ahead and stun Sifu Calvin. He's taking a lot of damage, but he's doing a lot of damage to Sifu Calvin, and he's going to get taken down by Sivir right there. And it looks like they're going to try to kill Brown Bruiser once again. It's 1v3, and they're going to be able to try to chase her out. One last flash is going to be able to...
Oh, great flash by BB Pop!
And Krowg is going to go and actually almost secure the kill on Half-Hearted, but at the very least he was able to defend that. The objective is there, so a 10% damage buff to whoever actually takes the objective that they want right there. So the blue team, they're going to be wanting to defend that, whereas the red team, they want to defend their own windmill up at the top lane. However, unfortunately, the windmill is a little bit harder to protect. It's farther away from the base, but it looks like Sifu Calvin is going to go up there. We have Mad Supportal rushing as fast as he can, but he might not be able to make it. Krowg doing great interference, and he's going to be able to neutralize that top point. And Commander Peoples is now here going to try to do as much as he can, almost throwing a sapling. There goes the ultimate, that zoning power we talked about before, and they're actually going to be able to muscle them off of this tower. But Sifu Calvin is going to try to go in for Half-Hearted, and it looks like they're going to try to kill Commander Peoples. The third proc on the Silver Bolt's not actually landing, as Sifu Calvin gets taken down by Half-Hearted. Sivir getting the last hit right there for the kill, and they're going to be able to muscle them off the tower once again. Great zoning potential and great engage as well.
And they are going to secure that top tower. In that, the point was not able to be saved at the top initially, mostly in part because of the slow over here from the plants on the map allowed Alistar time at the top to get in range in order to disrupt Sona. So it was very good placement by Zyra. There's the Clairvoyance being used on the Speed Shrine, so you know what's going on, if there's anything in that area that they need to worry about. Half-Hearted's Brand clearing out a few minions, and Zyra countering as well. J4 throws a Cataclysm and Exhaust down on BB Pop, but there's no real damage to follow it up. Great catch, but with no one else there, that's Cataclysm being used and a kill not being gotten for it. It's very unfortunate.
You were talking before about how the abilities were being leveled up, and I see that Vayne is actually maxing Tumble first. So, for raw damage output, you want to max Silver Bolts. That'll help you in longer drawn-out engagements. What I think she wants is the cooldown reduction, or the lower cooldowns on Tumble, allowing her to stay in fights a little bit longer, dodge as much as she can, and a lot of these fights we're seeing are really, really heated. She needs to worry about her positioning all the time, and that's going to help her out a little bit. Wilfer going for an ultimate in the bottom lane, but it looks like the Exhaust is actually going to be able to stop him from doing anything further at that point. So good exhaust by the part of Lurch over there on Gragas, and both of these bot towers have been basically left alone for the entire game. All of the action is heading in the mid lane as Krowg looks for an initiation. He's not going to be able to find one though.
No, unfortunately. They wanted one. Sivir has used her on the hunt, but not a lot coming out of it yet. Venture Maelstrom down, poke, Lurch in the bottom lane. Krowg at top with a good airborne on Half-Hearted. Half-Hearted's Brand still alive, however, and Krowg doing a really, really good job of staying tangled up in the enemy team, and Vayne was just sort of able to sit back on the edges of the fight. The only downside was, I feel that they could have capitalized more on that engagement if Alistar had been crowd-controlling targets that were closer to Vayne.
Yeah, Vayne is really something that's going to help them win fights. We know that, we keep saying she's a really, really, really strong champion in terms of damage. Lurch getting caught out, however, the bleed is just barely going to kill him. I think Wilfer would have caught up either way, and Commander went for the speed shrine as well, so he was going to be able to catch up, but the bleed does kill him, so they're actually going to be able to take this bottom tower. Lurch using his revive to get back into the fight extremely quickly. Ultimate will prevent them from taking that bot tower. That is why people take revive right there. Do not want one of those bot towers taken. That is huge in the game. But Sifu Calvin is going to go into the back line and try to use Cataclysm, not necessarily initiating, but just keeping them off of the people who are capping that windmill, and they're going to be able to get it. There goes the 10% damage boost for him. They're going to be pretty far ahead in this next fight, so long as Chavez Obama keeps his positioning. He's got very low health, but doesn't look like anyone's initiating yet. Sifu Calvin is going in for it. There goes a headbutt, but the crescendo will stop the pulverized combo after that. Brown Bruiser doing as much damage as he can on Vayne. He's getting shut down a little bit by Maokai. Maokai uses Twisted Advance, and it looks like the tower will actually end up picking the kill right there. And Brown Bruiser stays alive, dodging through Zyra's ultimate, and it looks like one last kill might be able to get him. Oh wow, he's going to be able to do it. No, it's shut
just
down
barely
right there by Mad Supportal.
Zamike's, aka Mad Supportal's Sona, just a little bit too much for him to deal with. Vayne doing an excellent job in that engagement, being able to stand and deliver and really clean up that fight. That cancel is what they needed to start getting back into this game.
Yeah, they really did, and that's something that will help them out quite a bit, because we see 233 to about 375. They are pretty far behind in this game right now, but certainly not far enough behind so that they can't win. As you know, in Dominion, if you have more points, your score doesn't go down at all. A lot of other sort of Dominion domination style games have it so that the more points you have, the more the opponent's score ticks down. And even if you don't have more points, those 2 points are still going to be ticking down.
Ooh,
But in
a lot of damage from Half-Hearted on Brown Bruiser in the center of the map. Vayne tried to get the Storm Relic and was severely punished for it.
And it looks like they're going to try to disengage at this point. They do want to make sure they retain control on the top windmill point, but it looks like no one's actually going to try to counteract this top lane push by Clueless. But here we go. Kraug is looking for something, but they don't have any damage with them. They have Alistar and Jarvan. Those are two really tanky champions. Zyra is more utility than damage as well. She's got a little bit on the Blackfire Torch, but I don't know if it's enough to win this fight for their team. But Vayne is here now. This is where they want to engage. Commander People's getting caught out. Half-Hearted getting Cataclysm. Sifu Calvin taken down extremely low. He's not tanky enough. Chavez Obama landing Stranglethorns on a couple members of the red team, but it looks like they will be able to kill one or two of them. However, in the bot lane, Gragas is going to pick up the kill on Fizz, but ultimately Clueless was able to knock out Cheese Enema from the top lane, and Kraug is being chased right now. Unfortunately, he's not going to live for much longer, and they're going to be able to take over the windmill. Vayne trying to do as much as she can, just barely missing the boomerang blade right there. But on top of that, you know, they're going to have to give up the windmill, and that's pretty huge.
Wow, Lurch barely escaping from Maokai in the bottom lane, taking a little bit of Vengeful Maelstrom damage, but wasn't quite enough to defeat him. Peoples looks for the sapling toss. Maybe? No? We're just going to go in there and check around for it. No, sapling was still on cooldown, unfortunately. So he knew where he had retreated to. Half-Hearted's brand really opened up that engagement in the top by being able to put all the damage on Vayne when she tried to secure the Storm Shield for her team. She was forced all the way back to the Summoner platform to heal, and they used that opportunity of Vayne being forced away in order to push a fight at the windmill.
And they're going to go ahead and try to initiate another fight right here, getting the Speed Relic. They have control of that, so they're going to have a little bit of extra positioning power for this next fight, but it looks like they're actually just going to back off of it. And no, my client is being bugged a little bit, and people just froze for a sec.
Well, I will, if it's still like that, I'll go on talking for a moment. And the members of Cheese Enema being forced further and further back on their map. They don't want to pick this fight. They don't like their positioning. Jarvan goes in. Good Cataclysm on BB Pop. BB Pop trapped in. Vayne a little bit too far away to begin delivering the damage. Finally in the fight now. Begins to chip away. And BB Pop's Sivir is down. Brown Bruiser activating the barrier spell there for a little bit extra damage reduction, chasing Mad Supportal away now. Brown Bruiser low on health may decide to actually move up towards the windmill and take advantage of that point being open. Now, Half-Hearted can easily kill Chavez Obama or Brown Bruiser, but not necessarily with Kraug in the way. But he will be able to zone and delay this for a little bit. Buys time for Mad Supportal Zamike to get there. And Zamike not able to close, unfortunately, before the tower is captured. Windmill now under the control of Cheese Enema.
And there we see a little bit of the power of the minion pushes as well, because they weren't able to keep a constant cap on it. However, the minions, they had, 5 or 6 right there hammering down on the tower, and they were able to capture it that way. But it looks like BB is going to try to recap this himself. Unfortunately, Kraug trying to go around the back, seeing if there's anything he can do to stop this. He does stop it for a little bit. However, Sifu Calvin is here as well. They might be bursted down extremely quickly. There goes Sifu Calvin, and Kraug is soon to follow suit. And Ground Bruiser is now here, but 1v4 is not really something that I really think she's going to be able to win. Commander People is just staying back to cap the windmill, and he's going to be able to do that. So Chavez Obama, he's got to watch out. The stun just barely missing from Brand. Fortunately, not going to be able to catch him out at that moment, and they do take the windmill. So Clueless is back in the lead once again, and they're draining the health of Cheese Enema.
Wolfer going for the kill against Lurch in the bottom, lands the Chum the Waters, but is knocked back by Gragas' explosive cast, and Brown Bruiser coming down to help as well. Oh dear, Playful Trickster on cooldown. This is a great opportunity for Vayne, using Final Hour even, wants to secure this kill, but I don't know if she can get all the way over there in time, unfortunately. However, she will be able to drive these minions into the tower. Sivir and Sona look like they may want to respond to this. Looks like it's going to be Sivir, and the quick capture and neutral tumbles away from the Boomerang Blade, and Vayne could back off now if she wants to.
She could, but it looks like she just wants to land a little bit of more poke, but she figures that Fizz is now on his way to try to help Sivir out in this bot lane, so they're not going to be able to pressure that any longer. They're going to be able to take that back, unfortunately, and that's really big too, because in the bot lane, when you have these objectives, the big attack and defend objectives, then that's a moment where you're gonna start seeing a lot more action happen in the bottom lane, because it's such a huge buff, and it looks like there goes the Chum the Waters, and Wilfer are going to Playful Trickster right out of there, but there goes the Cataclysm.
Oh, Urchin Strike through the minion. Very good play, unfortunately still caught.
Yeah, unfortunately he is still caught, but at the same time that allows Kraug and Lurch to take this bottom, and Wolfer is actually just going to go the other way around. He doesn't want to stop that at all. Even if he were to risk his life once again, it might be worth keeping them off of that just long enough for the rest of his teammates to follow up, but it looks like they're going for another initiation. Stranglethorns popped, hitting nobody except Fizz in that engagement, and they're going to be able to retreat to their base. Nothing too much happening right there. Meanwhile, near the back, Kraug is just taking the drill the entire time, so they're going to be a little bit farther ahead in terms of the points capped, and on top of this, they're going to get a 4th as well, so even if Brand gets that one in the bottom lane, they might not be able to do this, but Commander People's actually killing him with his ultimate at that point, and Bebop just trying to run away from Jarvan. One more auto attack is going to be able to take her down, and there it is. Boomerang Blade return almost killing him, but that damage buff really helping him out quite a bit, so they're going to be able to take that back, and the refinery is in the hands, once again, of the blue team.
Vayne moving on up towards the top part of the map. Half-Hearted's Brand successfully able to back cap that bottom tower, but not able to get to the top in time, I think. The split push between the drill and the windmill, someone could only respond to one of them, and that's what enabled Alistar to... Oh, sorry, I thought Brand was going to go for try and get close enough to throw out a Pyroclasm, but I guess not. Just looking to exchange a little bit of damage with the spells. In the bottom, Wolfer wants to keep this point neutral. Playful Trickster's away. Boxed in by a Cataclysm, though. Urchin strikes out through Lurch to escape. Explosive cast back over to Jarvan. Playful Trickster's away again. Really solid play coming from Wolfer. Finally tagged with the Airborne. Urchin Strike out with the Playful Trickster and the Exhaust. Wolfer may be able to get away. Has to Urchin Strike through Lurch again. Wolferer, man, that excellent job. Wow.
And that is how you troll with Fizz. That was an amazing escape, using Playful Trickster multiple times, Urchin Strike so many times. He was just barely getting away from that fight. And unfortunately, Lurch didn't want to chase because the rest of his team had followed up, and a 4v1 is never something you really want to chase into, but at this point, it looks like they're going to have a fight over this relic. The blue team certainly does not want Clueless to take this relic. It's going to help them close out the game a little bit. Kraug interrupting it for a second, but I don't know if there's enough for them to do it. Wolfer are going to pick up a kill on Zyra right there near the speed relic, and it looks like Commander is going to try to go in and try to kill Sifu Calvin. Brown Bruiser taking extremely low. We might see Supportal use Crescendo if he gets in range, but it looks like Brown Bruiser is going to run straight away and keep maximum range away from that Crescendo, so that's a good play by him. And Lurch Gonna see if he can do something, but meanwhile in the top lane, BBBop and Half-Hearted are going to try to take this tower. Kraug has something to say about it, however. He's just switch tanking both of them with his ultimate. Unfortunately, it's not going to last too long as it's just about to run out, and there we go. They're going to be able to tear him down at this point. And we're seeing his health go lower and lower, and that entire time, one thing I liked about that was that one of them was capturing it while the other one was doing damage, making sure that the tower wasn't attacking. But Brown Bruiser getting caught out by a crescendo. He's going to be into Stranglethorns as well. Unfortunately, Chavez Obama getting caught out, trying to save her friend right there, but Kraug is back in the fight, and so is Sifu Calvin. They're tanking things up quite a bit. Half-Hearted goes down, and it looks like they might continue to try to make plays up here.
Yeah, and that top engagement, Alistar delayed for as long as he could, but it was not enough, unfortunately. Vayne being defeated there is really detrimental to Cheese Enema's team at the moment. Is returned just now, pins Support against the wall, takes him down, turns her attention over towards BBPop, but Alistar and Jarvan had that taken care of just fine. It looks like they're going to turn around this point. Brand really can't do a lot on his own. He could get a lucky kill on Sifu. Yes, picks it up. Could get one on Brown Bruiser, but I think Kraug is going to zone him away from that.
And they're going to be able to take the windmill at this point, and Half-Hearted getting caught out right there by Zyra's Thorns just a little bit. Chavez taking down extremely low. There goes the Ricochet. The last will be able to kill her at that point. Passive, unfortunately, not doing enough damage to anyone. And Kraug and Brown Bruiser now are going to try to defend this. Brown Bruiser does have a lot of damage. He is Vayne, and there's a lot of tankiness on Kraug. His ultimate is up as well.
That Blackfire Torch from Commander Peoples on Maokai is very, very helpful. And oh, wow! Sona picking up the kill, coming on the way back up to the windmill. Kraug by himself is going to leave the point. Can't quite do a lot by himself. Mad Sporla caught in a Cataclysm. Chavez Obama hanging out below the point, contributing damage up towards it. And Sifu barely alive, not going to be able to secure the kill on BBPop. The crescendo from Sona is going to stop Alistar from connecting as well, and BBPop's Sivir lives once again.
They're going to be able to secure the windmill at that point. 3 points to 2, and it looks like Lurch, he might try to make something happen in the bot lane, but Wolferer is on his way down. I think you might have seen him walk through the middle relic right there, and he's going to try to kill Lurch. Where's the Chum the Waters? There's the Playful Trickster. He's going to go for the Chum the Waters right now. The ultimate barrel from Grog is doing a lot of damage, as well as the exhaust mitigating a lot of that damage. He's going to be taken down. No, a Playful Trickster right into the health relic. However, he's taken down extremely low, and there goes one last silver bolt from Vayne, going to be able to secure the kill. And at this point, it's still 3-2. The blue team really needs to make something happen really quickly if they want to get back into the game.
And Sifu and Kraug getting mixed up with the enemy team, but Vayne is very far away at the moment, and Sifu Calvin dead now, unfortunately, before Brown Bruiser can get there. The fight now very lopsided, 3 versus 4 in this engagement by the Speed Shrine.
And one thing we were talking about before with Speed Shrine control, you get a lot of positioning from that, and Commander People is now the one getting caught out. Chavez Obama taking a lot of the damage, however, BBBop secures that kill, and he's doing really well as Sivir in this game right now. He's going to be able to try something, but Mad Supportal gets caught out by a Condemn from Vayne, but Half-Hearted turns on Vayne as well and gets the kill right there. Kraug getting taken down by BBBop, and at this point, it's surely GG. Clueless is looking in command of this game, but it looks like Sifu Calvin trying to keep this point back into their hands, and he's not going to be able to do that. However, they're going to be able to take this, and those 49 points for Cheese Enema are going to start ticking down extremely quickly. Wolfer now knocked back into his own tower. Another exhaust onto Lurch. He's not going to be able to secure anything. Going for the relic. Lurch does not want him to have this, and there goes the barrel. It's not going to be enough to kill him, but he still picks up the relic. Going to go ahead and try to back into that bush, trying not to give up a death right there.
Wow. Wolfer is determined to stay alive, and if I'm not mistaken, there was his Blackfire Torch didn't have charges, it looks like, on that last barrel, otherwise the dot damage should have killed him.
Yeah, and not only that, we saw a great juke with the Deathfire Grasp being the last thing able to kill Lurch in that bot lane for Wolfer, and now there's still 3 to actually 1 right now. The point down bot is neutralized for the moment. They're going to have to really make something happen right here. They need to secure control of the game and keep at least 3 points no matter what if they want to get back into this game, and by no means is it completely over. And one thing that could happen, they could in fact take a top point, they could take the windmill, could take the boneyard, something. They need to get back into this game, and they need to do it quickly. They can't risk a fight in the mid lane, it's going to take too long, but it looks like Kha'Zix is going to the top lane to try to secure that point. Brown Bruiser taking a lot of damage, however. The Stranglethorns is going to keep everyone off of her, and she's actually going to turn onto Commander Peoples. Commander Peoples doing a lot of damage himself, but it looks like he's going to be taking down that last... Oh, he's going to stay alive, picks up the health relic, however. It looks like Bebop is going to be able
Whoa!
to... And the Zyra passive is not going to be able to take him down, and there goes a 2-2 in terms of towers. Kha'Zix is still in the top lane, he's going to take that back, but unfortunately Wolfer is in the bottom lane. He's going to be able to take that down really quickly, and he's going to be able to do it. Oh, here comes Lurch. He might be able to stop this with an ultimate barrel, quickly killing Fizz. And however, Commander Peoples is back in this bot lane trying to 1v1, but it looks like Brand, half-hearted, going to go ahead and secure the refinery for the game.
And Clueless is going to take the game 1 of this series against Cheese Enema, and we'll see if they can bring this back in the second game.
We'll see if they can.
Okay, I'm going to cut to a commercial really quick as we get the next game set up, and I'm going to plug my mouse into a different USB port and see if that helps me out. So I will see you guys back here in just one moment.
Mm-hmm.